Thierry from Eric Sport, and I'm here with Ngub from lesartvitaux.com, and I'm going to teach him how to do the kettlebell Turkish Get Up. So first, I'm going to step a little bit to the side and I'm going to do a demonstration of the exercise, and then I'm going to take Ngub through all the steps as if I was teaching somebody face to face. So this is what we're going to do, right? Okay. So Turkish Get Up, bear in mind you can do it either from the ground, up and back down again, or you can also do it standing, down and up again. So there's two ways to do about it. And actually in the demonstration, I'm going to do it from the ground. In the learning process, I'm going to get you to do it actually in reverse, because sometimes it's easy to feel things in the body that way, right? So here, just the traditional classic way of doing it. Turkish Get Up, it's one of the exercises that's got many variations, right? Before we go further, remember, give us a like, subscribe to our channel for more tutorials and good info. So, here we are, the grip, kettlebell close to the body, I'm on my side, boom, I come to the floor press position. Kettlebell is in prolongation here, like the centered over my shoulder, leg is bent, I'm taking lots of room on the ground, I go up to the sky, switch my legs. When I get to this stage, I can look ahead, boom. The kettlebell is still directly centered over my shoulder, then I go back down. Return safely to the ground and put it down. So this is what a Turkish Get Up could look like. Again, there's many ways to transition from that half sitting position to standing. This is a version I know works for many people, right? We got lots of contact with the ground at all times. Many people do the bridge variation, where suddenly they're standing with 2 points of contact. Yeah. And you know, as always, when you're thinking if I'm going to lift heavy weight, it's about stability. The more stability I can create, the more weight I can lift, basically like that. So I think stability and strength hangs together, and instability, well, you know, you can't lift as much, right? Yeah. Good. So one of the first exercises, if you've never done the Turkish Get Up, is getting a feel for the coordination involved in it, the different type of movements. We're going to try to do a full Turkish Get Down this time. And then, you know, when you're learning the exercise, you can also break it down in the different steps. So you can have, you know, just working, pick up the kettlebell, doing the floor press, boom, back. Okay, you got that, okay. Then you learn to go from the floor press to the sitting position. Boom, you leave it at that. So you've got a half get up. When you do that, then you combine the last, you know, transitioning from the ground and standing up. So don't think you have to learn the Turkish Get Up as one movement from the first time you learn it. Got it. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use just a little prop here. So we're going to use this flat thing, could be a book, could be a shoe, whatever. What you're going to do is you're going to make a fist. So when we're holding the kettlebell, one of the important aspects is that we protect our fists. You don't want the kettlebell on a bent wrist, okay, right? So just working the fist there, so we've got everything aligned, and you're going to just put this thing there, and no cheating holding with the thumb. Right? So it's about finding the balance. Okay. Once you're done with that, then you're just going to bring it up, and I'm going to get you to try an experiment, okay, and lay down on the ground, okay, without losing the...
So basically keeping that balance on my feet,
at all times,
on my fist,
on your fist,
doing the whole movement.
Yeah. So okay, just try to, for now, just try to go from standing to laying down without, okay, losing it. Right? So fine, good. Make sure you got the balance there. Right. Stable?
Now I should try and...
Yeah. So now you just bring the arm straight. Right? And this is where, in the Turkish Get Up, basically, once the kettlebell is in place, your body moves in and around and under it. Okay? So this is the feeling I want you to try to find. So now you keep the arm straight, because as soon as you go out of the alignment, that thing is going to fall off your fist, right? So now go down to your knee, go down laying on the ground. Right? how you're going to do this. Again, there's different ways. Now, you're used to move in different ways from your martial arts background.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see that straight away. Right. Well, while you're there, I'm going to ask you to get up again now. It went so well.
I should have seen that.
Right. Keep the arm vertical. Yes, so pretty good for a first attempt, right?
I've never done any Turkish Get Up ever.
So, cool. So there's just a few things that you do that might feel uncomfortable when you've got a heavier weight.
Okay.
Like, you know, when you're working with body weight, you can sort of get away with a lot of things.
Yes.
When you've got a weight and plus it's pulling in different, you have to stabilize in different direction, you might want to be a bit more careful about it. But, you know, overall, we can work with that.
Okay, cool.
Right?
Okay.
So Turkish Get Up, what we like about it in the kettlebell community is you know, the coordination demands, the stability demands, all this kind of stuff makes it a good exercise. We're moving in different planes of motion in the same exercise, right? So I like to look at exercise from a perspective of what kind of action I'm doing. So we've got all our pushing, vertical, horizontal, all the pulling, you know, vertical, horizontal. Then you've got everything where you've got rotation, then you've got locomotion, and then you've got changing your center of gravity, moving it up and down.
Okay.
So with the Turkish Get Up, we're covering a lot of those elements, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the press, which is a push. Mm-hmm. Then we've got the rotation aspect when we start to transition from laying to sitting. So we've got the rotation, right? Then of course we've got the locomotion, right? We're moving our feet, like I said, we're moving in and around the weight. And then we are lifting our center of gravity.
Yeah.
So out of those 5 categories I like to use as simplified system, you know, we hit 4 of those. So if you were to add like a few rows or chin-ups or whatever to that, with those 2 exercises, you've got like a full body.
Full body exercise.
Yeah, so good. So because you've never worked with kettlebells before, we're gonna start you with a light one. So we've got an 8 kilo kettlebell there, but the idea is when you hold on to the kettlebell, it's not a dumbbell. So you don't want to hold it like that, centered in the palm.
Okay.
Yeah? Like I said, we want to protect the wrist. And what happens when I hold it like that diagonally, right, is I've got lots of contact between my arm and the kettlebell.
Okay.
And the more contact I have, you know, the more control I have over it, more stability instead of holding it, you know, like this where you can just wobble a bit.
Yeah.
Here, there's no more of that wobble.
And also, I noticed that your forearm and your wrist and your hand are in alignment.
Exactly, everything is lined up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the way, when you're going to pick up that kettlebell, I'm going to demonstrate here, right? So I lay on my side, and what I do, I just shoot my hand right through. I aim to put the corner of the kettlebell in that webbing here, you know? And I want to try to have contact with my forearm against the other corner of the handle. From here, I don't need to holding tight because it's not going anywhere, it's not going to fall, right? So from that position, I'm going to simply roll onto my back, you know, find a good position. I'm about to press, so this would be a really bad idea if I wanted to press a weight because it's becoming a tricep extension, right? So I want to have it so that my wrist is directly above my elbow, so it's vertical, yeah?
Do you bring your elbow against the body or the...
Yeah, like about 45 degrees, what feels good. This would not be recommended so much, you know, but here, right? And then I'm just going to press it and do some small circles one way and the other way and find the sweet spot for you, you know? Like I said, it should be so that the center of the kettlebell is directly over my shoulder. So from the side here, you can see that if my arm is fully vertical, I've got a pull going that way. If the arm is like in front of my body, then the pull is here. And yeah, I can hold this because it's a light kettlebell, right? So basically you want to find the sweet spot where the skeleton is holding on, is like supporting the weight. Yeah? So that's going to be the first exercise, picking up and making the floor press, returning under control, boom, going back down, right?
So should I start with my leading arm, my right arm, or what do you recommend?
It's always a good idea to have security, you know, so what feels most natural for you would probably be your strongest side, you know. So,
okay. And do you recommend that I work both sides ultimately? Or?
Ultimately, you want to work both sides, and you want to do like one rep at a time.
One rep at a time.
Yes,
okay.
on each arm. So you can do quite a few reps on it, but just don't try to do all the reps on one side and then on the other side,
okay,
right?
Got it.
Because the shoulder muscles, the stabilizing muscles, you know, they get tired. So why risk it?
Yeah.
You know, they get more workout than the rest of your body, but it's full body exercise, but still, you know, small muscles get tired. Yeah.
Okay.
So do one rep, then switch, and you just alternate back and forth.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good question. Yes, exactly. So now you've got the, you're filling up as much as possible in there. 2 hands and you roll on your back. Forearm is as vertical as you can have it. And you're going to, yes, exactly. And do those small circles, you know,
You'll
both directions.
Feel the pull.
Yes.
As soon as I go away.
Yeah.
Like the center of gravity, there is a sweet spot. There is one. It's fantastic how easy it is to actually feel.
Yes. So, good. Then you put it back down. You know, you can do a couple of presses if you want. Yep. So now we got the elbow about 45 degrees. Again, you know, you're going to find a sweet spot for you. Some people, you know, they're strong in one group or the other, so they'll have a bit wider, a bit tight against the body, and rolling out to the side to safely put it down. You know, so we're trying to ingrain good habits from the start, because you can get away with a lot of silly things when the weight is light, right?
Yes.
But it's not going to be as forgiving when the weight becomes heavy. So learn to do the technique as you would with a heavier weight. Simple as that. Yeah.
I also noticed that there could be a relatively painful pressure on the forearm when it's not adequately positioned.
Yeah, and that's one thing for somebody who's never done kettlebells before. You know, that the fact that the ball is resting on the forearm, on the place where there's not much meat. You know, at first it can be a bit like oof, but you know, it's like everything else. You start developing some kind of callus around it. You know, and there is an adaptation. If it is too painful, I recommend using like some kind of wristband, you know, like a tennis sweatband.
I've seen some kettlebell athletes with those wrists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now the kettlebell athletes, they use something that's even more, that's stiffer. It's actually reinforced inside. There's like some plastic inserts that you can But just a sweatband, you know, from any sports shop will do the job to get started anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Press it, and now you should find the spot pretty fast once you get a feeling of it, you know. Cool. Good, so we're going to move on to the next step. Right, so where people kind of like struggle is to transition from that laying to sitting position, right? They think that they have to do a basic sit-up, so they're laying on the ground like this, and they want to get up this way. Okay. Only using, you know, the midsection, the abs, you know, and this is going to be limiting how many kilos you can shift. Remember, we want to make it a full body exercise. The more muscle groups I can engage into it, well, the more efficient I can lift and more kilos. So what you want to think of is, instead of like, you can see the yellow kettlebell here, you know, and this line in my body. I don't want to get up being fully symmetrical. Yeah? So in line. I don't want to stay in that line. What I want to do is actually, for the first thing, is I'm going to spread my body on the ground. Again, that stability, you know. So I take as much room on the ground as I can. My foot is coming close to my hip. My leg is going out to the side. And from here, I'm going to push everything that I can into that heel and roll onto my elbow.
All right.
See? So it's a diagonal, moving away kind of movement. So when I've got the kettlebell here, see, again, you know, and I take a lot of space. I establish my position first, taking a lot of room, and then push on that heel. And I maintain my, my chest up, so I'm not caving in like that. Chest up, right? And the kettlebell, of course, just follows, you know. Now, one of the telltales that you will see when people are not using their body optimally will be this. As they get up, that leg will come up because they're still relying on the abs.
I did that, right?
You felt it already, yes?
Yes.
Yeah? So if you're really pushing, squeezing that part here, you're rolling onto the side, that foot stays down.
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna test it with you. So roll, that's it. Right through the hand, right through the handle. Find the sweet spot to stabilize the kettlebell. Yeah, so this foot, you bring it close to your hip. The other one goes straight, and your hand can be sort of like, it doesn't have to be shoulder level, it can be a little bit under. Again, practice will tell you where it feels best for you, right? So now I want you to push right through your heel and come over to me onto your elbow. Ah. Yeah, not as easy as you thought. And under control, you're still using that foot, this time as a brake, to control the return back to the ground. Okay, this is one place where a lot of people are just, they give up. Oh, I've nearly done with the exercise, and they're just like, woof, they fall down to the ground, you know. Not a good idea when you got that weight overhead, so you want to keep it under control.
Okay, I can totally feel that from a technical point of view, I'm not doing what's optimal for my body. So I need to find where to position.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
yes.
to be able to generate the force in the right angle.
Yes.
So I'll try again.
Cool. Yeah. So remember, the straight leg is the opposite one to the one you're holding the kettlebell. Same side. You bend the leg on the same side as you're holding on to the kettlebell, right? So now try to come forward over to me. Keep that leg down.
Oh.
Yeah?
Went up.
It went up. So more pressure on that foot. So keep the arm straight, more pressure on the foot, and again.
Can I try and bring it in?
Yeah, you can try. You can try to bring closer, a bit further. Aha! Better. Right?
It went up though.
Yeah. But that's okay. I mean, you know, you can't learn and put all the small details on the first time you try the Turkish Get Up. Now it's something you know you have to work on, so you'll be aware of it next time you start training at home, right? Yes. So focus, attention to detail. This is how you're gonna really build up your technique, you know, and eventually start moving some good weights. So, yeah, roll back, safely down to the ground. Great. Okay, so that's the...
This is really good. Not what I just did, but what I can feel in terms of body awareness.
Yes.
You know, it makes me aware of where my body is, what kind of, you know, points of contact with the ground are going to allow me to generate more energy with a minimum effort.
Yes.
This is fantastic, guys. I'm really new to this, and my specialty is body awareness, and I can already tell how much I want to do it every day, even without weight or lightweight.
Yeah.
Just enough weight to be able to see where my weaknesses are.
Yeah.
You know, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, man.
And it's like you said, that awareness, it transfers and applies to many different sports, you know, skiing or whatever. Wherever you just like, you know, where is my body, you know?
Yeah, and even more importantly, in daily life. You know, whatever happens that is unexpected, body awareness makes the difference.
Yeah.
Very often between I escaped from the situation or, you know, there was an accident.
Yep. So you mentioned about doing it daily, you know, without any weight. What you could do is just like place a cup of water there.
Oh, come on.
Right?
Okay.
So, so now that you have to work nice and slow, not rushing the steps, you know, keep the control of of what you're doing. So it really brings, again, you're fine-tuning that awareness. You can also start playing with the, you know, blindfold.
Oh.
So you're really like tuning in.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's many ways to tweak this exercise and just add new dimensions to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now the transition part from the sitting position to the lunge, and then be able to stand up, right? So like I said, there are many ways to do this. I'm just going to show one technique. So we've come to this position here, right? Basically. So now we're going to straighten up our arm. Now you can do that, you already start switching the legs in that position in transition, or you can just straighten the arm and then switch the legs. Right? Now there's basically two ways. When you're in that position, you can either decide to pull that leg back, right, under yourself, but you can see I still got like this huge area surface of contact with the ground, right? So even though I lift my hip, I still got lots of contact with it, okay? So from here, or you can decide, depending on how your knees are and so on, you can decide to just roll forward.
Oh, okay.
So you go forward instead of thinking you're bringing the leg under yourself.
Okay.
Okay? So with the kettlebell, this is what it looks like. Here, boom, lots of space on the ground. I come to the side, right. I extend my arm, boom. I switch my legs. Now I decide, okay, I want to roll forward. So I would bring my hand and I roll over my knee, right? Or I'm going to bring my knee under myself, then I just lift a little bit up from the ground, pull back. Okay, and from here, of course, I'm standing way too wide, so I'm just going to reposition myself. Yeah? Okay, so now when we come to that lunge position, like I said, reposition yourself so it feels good for you. You want to be in the strongest position that you can be, and that's roughly 90 degrees on each leg. Okay, I'm going to push off my toes. So that foot there, this is not very strong position, but I'm turning the toes under my foot. Okay, now I don't need to look up at the kettlebell anymore. It's up here, unless you have to, you know, unless you're like in those stages where you feel a bit uncomfortable. But now I would like sort of fix a point ahead, and I would just stand up. Boom. So while I'm getting up, I'm looking at the kettlebell. Maybe best to do it like that again here. You know. So here, boom. I've got a contact reference here with the kettlebell, and I keep that, right, until I'm here. Now, one of the reasons is, as you know, where the head goes, the rest of the body follows. So if suddenly I start looking down, usually we've got this reflex of caving in. Looking up allows me to keep my chest up and that tension and that strength right through the chest. So that's all it's about.
My turn.
Your turn.
Okay.
So shoot the hand right through. Yep. Good. And And when you practice this, you want to make sure you got lots of room behind you, behind your head, especially on the way down, because you might sort of like knock your head, you know. So clear the room as much as possible, and I'm going to remove this out of the way. Boom. Yeah. Okay, so now you decide if you're going to extend your arm first or switch the legs first. It's up to you. Yeah, you can sit. Yes. So two options. What feels best, more natural. Yeah, so now you pull under. Toes are curled at the back, 90 degree on each leg. Perfect. And then just stand up when you're ready. Boom. So now we might as well go straight into the descent. So now you take your opposite foot and you step back. Yeah, a bit more maybe. You want to try to put that, yeah, knee into the ground. Good. So from here now, we got a little detail. We want that foot at the back to turn in. So it's rotating in. Yes, your hand is going to come next to your knee. So then you can shift your hip back. Yes. Now you switch, you bring that leg at the front. Yes, under control. You're going to come back onto your elbow. Nice and slow. Remember, we're using the bent leg as a brake. And keep the tension. Nice and slow. Boom. And you see the leg didn't lift on the way down either. Put it down, two hands, roll on the side. How'd that feel?
Wow. Wow.
So you just did the first Turkish Get Up ever. Nice. Okay.
So, yes, I'm so surprised because the weight is really not that heavy. That's really something I can lift, you know, there's no question about it,
yes.
You know? Yet, it's very technical.
Oh yeah.
I was told, but again, the map's not the territory, you know? So it really feels like something that's smoothing up, you know, the muscle chains working together.
Yep.
So I love it. I really, really love it.
Yeah.
I really recommend that. Follow the instructions and really try it at home. No weight first. Well, I'm not the expert, but I would really recommend
totally. I mean, you
yeah.
know, it's easy to just grab anything. So you got like, again, like we were talking about the Indian clubs.
Yeah.
A small weight is good because it gives you feedback.
Yeah.
Now, if I've got no weight or nothing, you know, and the small weight can be like we just showed.
Yes.
Simple as this. You know, it doesn't weigh anything, but it's still a small weight because if I start cheating, it's gonna
fall. Or, yeah.
It's gonna fall off, right?
I like your idea of a book, and I would go from a small book to, you know, a dictionary or something.
Yeah. Do they still have phone books in France?
Well, less and less, you know.
Yeah. So that was it.
Fantastic.
We might just work a bit more now
yes,
to refine the details, but I think you get the gist of how to do this Turkish Get Up now.
So, you know, I would like to try it more and to make sure that I have all the key points clear in my mind.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. You guys, remember, leave us a comment if you tried the Turkish Get Up. If you'd like to try the Turkish Get Up, you know, how does it fit into your routine and so on. Remember, check out some of the stuff that Ngub does at lesarvitaux.com and what we do at heroicsport.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.